Okay, hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to Easy Markets Daily Picture International with me, Darison Charles, because today is the 2nd of November, 2023. So, welcome, everyone. Welcome to this Thursday's morning session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendations and should not be considered as such. This material should not be taken as an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. Look, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest. I'll disappear from that little left corner and I'll be back in a bit. Okay, so now then, also just before we go further, as always, just a quick mentioning of our Easy Markets website, which you can always check out for more information about us. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to us as well, guys. So now then, let's jump into the charts. So the first one I want to pick up here is Nikkei 225. So yesterday, of course, the indices rallied after the Fed. Yesterday we had the Fed, so I'll get to the Fed in a bit as well. When I jump into the US indices. But in general, yes, of course, just to quickly mention that they decided to hold on, from any rate hikes. Well, that was kind of expected. But then, yes, as expected, they decided to, kind of also to take like a wait and see approach, so like if they're ready to act if needed. So, but I said the same thing yesterday. I mean, that's not going to be something new here. So yeah. But look, the market took it as a positive, and there we go. We saw some nice activity here to the upside across the board, across various indices. I mean, initially in the U.S., then it kind of followed after in Japan here. Nikkei pushed higher, so these are the futures, by the way. So look. For now, everything's working out according to the plan. I have nothing else to add here to Nikkei. Is the fact that just it popped above my EMAs here and said to you that as long as we remain above those EMAs, then yes, my next target is the 32,435, 563 levels, and then we will go from there. In terms of the downside, I would like to see now at this point. Previously, I talked about this 200-day EMA, but I think at this point, if we somehow fall back below the 50 and the 100-day EMA, then yes, potentially a larger correction back down here could be possible. Let's not forget that potentially we are in a range. But if that's the case, okay, we're currently moving towards the upper side of it, and then we will go from there, basically. So long story short, if we are looking for some higher levels at the moment, it's only the upper side of the range, so potential range, not confirmed yet, but potential range. JD Invest, good morning. I can see you there in the chat room. Yes, good morning to you too. I hope you're having a wonderful start of Thursday. I hope everybody else is having a wonderful start of Thursday as well. So China 50, guys. China 50. Okay, look, we did pop and then we moved higher, but then again, this barrier, this 12,230 zone continues to provide resistance. So in other words, I need that clarity first. I need that confirmation pop above that 12,230 zone. If I get that, then yes, great. More buyers could join in. So at the moment, with the China 50 index is a little bit on the boring side. So let's wait for some sort of clarity here. And to be honest, at this point, it's not very clear. ASX 200 pushing nicely to the upside. There we go. My voice is going down. Pushing higher to the upside. And yes, Let me just double check something very quickly. Yeah, so we did get some data from Australia, AIG Construction and Manufacturing Index. So the construction one improved significantly. The manufacturing dropped. I would say also quite significantly. So, yeah, it was quite an interesting moment here. So. Wait, that's yesterday's news. Honestly, like I'm looking at yesterday's news. Sorry about that. Trade balance. That's what everybody's talking about. Trade balance. Okay, declined a little bit. So, okay, not very good to be honest. But I think that the positivity that we're seeing here, of course, is coming from the Fed. So, so yeah. Nothing new. Nothing new. We're just seeing like an aftermath of that. As I said to you yesterday, that look, if you don't feel comfortable trading the Fed, the Fed release, that's fine. Look, you can always jump into it. Let's say today, because or even tomorrow, because don't forget that tomorrow we also have some interesting stuff. But I'll get to that in a bit. Look, coming back to ASX 200, so far so good. I said to you that if we do pop and stay above the 6,850 territory, then yes, I will continue targeting the upside. And my next target will be this downside line drawn from the high of the 15th of September. For now, I'm watching this 6,908 zone carefully. If we clear that one, then yes, great. More buyers here could join in. So now let's jump into Dow. Let me just actually put good morning, everyone, in the chat room there. So yes, I don't know if you heard JD Invest. I mean, I said good morning to you too. So I don't know if it got lost somewhere. But look, let's jump into the Dow. Beautiful move. I mean, I cannot say anything else. So far, working out perfectly according to the analysis. And look at this perfect move. I mean, if you remember, yesterday I talked about this. I said that if we do pop and stay above this 33,000 territory, my next target is the 33,205 and then the 33,420. This is what I was talking about yesterday. So great, good result here. Now my question is, can we go further north? Well, to be honest, at this point, I think that we need to be very careful here. Maybe a bit of a retracement could be possible. However, I'm kind of leaning towards this downside line drawn from the high of the 15th of September, which could be a nice good target going into kind of to the end of this week. So last week, we got a major decline, but this week we already kind of recovered everything what we have lost during last week and already a little bit of the previous week. So yeah, look, the good movement here. This is the weekly chart. So yesterday Powell said that they're willing to they're going to keep the rates the same at the moment, but they're willing to jump in whenever needed. I mean, the same story over and over. The moment, I mean, they cannot I cannot really blame them. They cannot say anything else right now because they're in a bit of a problematic situation. Because, look, also something that I mentioned yesterday, yes, inflation is going down, but it's still not near 2% target, which they have set themselves. It's, in a way, they would like to maybe go for another rate hike, but they understand that, look, we're right now in the holiday season, so everybody's going to be like buying and stuff like so. They're trying to to help support the economy in a way, the retail sales, because everybody needs that Apple and MacBook, and they need to get a loan for that. So that's why nobody's gonna get a loan if the loan is very too expensive, and that's why the rates need to stay a little bit lower for now. Maybe going into the beginning of next year, depending on how the stock market will play out, but at the moment, yes, at the moment it's looking a little bit more positive, I would say, in the near term. But just be careful near this downside line initially, but if that gets cleared, certainly yes, we'll start examining higher levels. But at this point, look, let's not rush into things. But in terms of the downside, I think I will start looking at this time. I can now say that if I'll start examining slightly lower levels, if we do fall back below the 33,000 mark, and then we'll go from there. S&P 500, so very quickly on that as well. S&P, beautiful move above this barrier. I said to you that if we do climb above this hurdle, then yes, great, more buyers here could join in. And then that's what we got. So yesterday we got that push. Wonderful. I'm still aiming for the upside for my 4,290 territory right here, or even this 4,300 zone. That's what I'm going to be targeting for now, and then we'll go from there. Of course, keep your eyes on the economic data today, tomorrow. Today from the US, we have the factory orders, initial and continuous jobless claims. Something to keep in mind, of course. The Fed's balance sheet is coming out as well, so just keep that in mind. But of course, the spotlight this time will fall on the Bank of England. It's going to be their turn, but I'll get to that in a bit. So yeah, for now, the technical picture is this on S&P 500. By the way, yesterday we had some earnings, and also keep your eyes on the earnings today, because today we have who? Correct, Apple. Apple we have today. Eli Lilly, ConocoPhillips, Starbucks, Booking.com. Honestly, the calendar is full. So expect, if you think that, okay, we're done maybe for today, we'll have a little bit of peace and quiet today. No, we could get the Fed aftermath and then the preparation for the NFP number tomorrow. And of course, we do have a bunch of companies which are coming out with their earnings. So guys, watch out for today. And as I said to you in the beginning of this week, we might see some crazy activity, one-way traffic we could see. That's what I said. So for now, that's what exactly is happening, one-way traffic. Look, we broke, in general, I say it this way, that as I said to you, that as long as we remain above this 200-day EMA, then yes, I said that my next target will be this area around the 14,609-10 zone, approximately around here. And then if that gets cleared, it's the downside line that I will be aiming for. Well, fantastic move, great move. So now I would say this way, that if we do break and stay above this downside line, then yes, my next target right now will be these two EMAs, the 50 and the 100-day EMA, and then we'll go from there. So if we clear this, then yes, great, more buyers here could join in. In terms of the downside, I would like to see a drop back below the 200-day EMA. Of course, below this short-term tentative upside support line drawn from the low of the 26th of October. If that gets cleared, wonderful, I will consider a move lower. Now, the German index, DAX, we pushed nicely, beautifully above this barrier, above this 15,066. In general, again, also worked out nicely, because I said to you that if we do push and stay above this 14,871 territory, then yes, I will go further north. And so far, so good. We got that move. We got that test of this 15,066 territory. Now my question is, can we go further north? Well, so far, as long as we remain above this territory, I will say yes, my next target is the 15,200 zone, somewhere around here. And then maybe the EMAs. But again, let's not rush into things. For now, let's keep an eye on this hurdle here, this 15,066 territory. If we start falling back below it, well, this is where the interesting bit comes in. So if we do start falling back below it, I will say that I need to see not this break in order to consider a move lower. I need to see and actually this 14,800, I don't like it anymore. I think I'm going to like this one instead, this inside swing high of the this 27th of October near the 14,900. So if we do start falling back below this hurdle, then yes, I will consider a possible move towards the lowest point of October near the 14,666 territory. And then we will go from there. The FTSE 100. So of course, yes, of course, the BoE, the Bank of England, is coming out today. So keep your eyes on this. But look, with the FTSE, I'm kind of leaning towards the idea that it will just it might have some sort of a big fluctuation or something like that, but eventually I think it will remain kind of submissive to the other indices like the US ones and maybe DAX. So yeah, I think at this point, and to the British pound mainly, of course. So yes, for now, that's kind of my vision on the FTSE 100. Like I said, initial reaction on the BOE could happen, yes, but then I think it will stabilize and just follow the herd. So at the moment, from the technical perspective, look, I said to you before that if we do pop back above the 7,400 territory, I'll start examining higher levels, but I'll get more excited with that idea if we do push above the 7,423 zone, and then we'll go from there. Now, in terms of the downside, I would say a drop below the 7,318 territory would be needed in order to go lower. But yes, I mean, oh no, I don't like this. I don't like this color. But then, yes, of course, I'll keep an eye on the lowest point of October near the 7,274, and then so on and so on. So just slowly, we are going to be dragging this one lower. USX 200, sorry, USX 200, USX USD, ASX 200, yes, that's Australian index, USX USD, which is the DXY, which is the dollar index. Look at this spectacular move yesterday. So, dollar didn't like what Jerome Powell had to say and what, and everything. So the dollar did not like that, and the fact that there's not going to be any rate hikes, yes, it didn't really work well for the US dollar. Now, however, everything's kind of playing out nicely. I mean, going into the holiday season, we don't need a very strong dollar, right? I mean, or should I say, in the US, they don't need the very strong dollar. So they need to kind of or too much or too much strength, because, well, actually, you know what? No, I'm lying. No, I am lying. I think I'm just kind of confusing myself already. On the contrary, I think that on the contrary, depending on how this is going to play out, because if the strong dollar is actually, maybe no, you know what, let me rephrase that. I think I've contradicted myself a little bit. No, it's good for this to have the strong dollar, because then they can afford more stuff. Let's say if they're ordering from abroad, from somewhere, yes, so in a way, kind of, it could be a little bit on the cheaper side potentially. But look, the question here for me, will that remain the case going into the holiday season? Well, so far, judging from the technical picture, then yes, there is a chance for seeing still a push to the upside, a nice good move higher, but at the moment it's a little bit on the tricky side. So look, I mean, I said to you before that if we do drop back below this downside line and below this 105.75 territory, then yes, move lower here could be possible. However, at the moment, I mean, even if it does drift a little bit lower, and you can see that it's currently getting a hold up near this 106.15 zone, if we do fall below it, that's not the end for the bulls. No, we could still see a rebound maybe somewhere from this downside line, and I get it, it's not really very supportive, I would say. I mean, we keep on piercing it through here, but we still remain above it. So that's why I would say do not let's not exclude this downside line from the equation yet. Let's keep it on the chart. But if you're not really comfortable with any of that, I would say you can just keep an eye on the 106.56 territory right here. If we do pop nicely above it, then yes, I will go to the upside. So yeah, that's the game plan. I will probably allow this index here to walk around here a little bit, and then I'll determine what else. But at this point, I'm watching these two levels, the 106.56, 57 on the upside, 105.75 on the downside. Gold. So, gold, yes, the dollar declined yesterday. Gold did manage to recover somewhat, so that's in a way great. Look, gold managed to find some sort of support here near this 1970 zone and then push back up. Okay, I think readjustments have to be made here a little bit. So let's put it this way. If we do fall below that 1970 territory, I'm going to start aiming for that 23.6 first, near the 1962 level, and then I'll aim for the 1953, and then so on and so on. So I'm going to go slowly to the downside. But again, look, if today we do get some exciting data that will support gold's up move here, I would say if you're looking for some higher levels, look, I do like that 1997, but I think I need to start looking at some higher levels a little bit earlier, somewhere from around here in this 1991-92 zone. If that gets a move here, if we do get a move above that area, then yes, great, more buyers here could join in, and then we could take it from there. So long story short, if you're looking for some higher levels, then yes, a push above that 1992 territory would be the first step, but that's near the high of yesterday. It was a good area of support back here on the 30th of October, so good possible level to examine. But then keep your eyes on that 1997, and then if that gets cleared, then yes, I will start aiming further north. Silver, very quickly on that one. So this one is a roller coaster ride. So I mean, I really don't like it. So at the moment, I'm just gonna leave it here. But look, if it starts climbing back above all of the EMAs here, then yes, I will consider a move higher. For the downside, a drop below the 50-day EMA here is required in order to go lower. So yeah, that's my game plan here on silver. Honestly, nothing else. Oil. So oil continues to fight that 200-day EMA, or should I say the bulls continue to fight that 200-day EMA, but unsuccessfully. So as you can see here, we are still staying below these all of these EMAs. So long story short, I would say for now, if you're looking for some lower levels, then yes, a drop, or there is still a chance for this one to go lower, because as long as we remain below the 200-day EMA. If we start climbing back above it, well, this is where the tricky bit comes in. So let me just get rid of this upside line, no longer needed. If we start climbing back up, then actually, and we stay above that 200-day EMA, then yes, I will consider maybe a larger correction here back up initially towards the 100-day EMA, then the 50-day EMA, and then this downside resistance line drawn from the high of the 27th of September. Corn. So there we go. We have that break. I kept on talking about this one from Monday. So, and there we go. We got that break. So look, I'm not saying that this is suddenly that's it from here downwards only. No. It increases the chances for corn to drift lower. I mean, at the moment, yes, we broke the upside line. So, okay, that's absolutely great. So as long as we remain below this upside line, yes, I'll continue targeting the downside, aiming for my 462 or even this 461 level. So basically this area right here, and then we'll go from there. For the upside, I would need to see a push. Let me just clear this. I would need to see a push above this downside line, to be honest. And if I get that, then yes, I will consider some higher levels. At the same time, we could climb above the 50-day EMA here, and yes, this way potentially more buyers here could join in. So long story short, if you're looking for some higher levels, I think at this point you just probably let's wait for a break of this downside line drawn from the high of the 22nd of June. Soybeans, there we go. I haven't looked at this one for quite a while, but it does present itself with nice opportunities. I think I need to adjust a few lines, but this is where it's coming out nicely. We're pushing above that 1319 level and above that 50-day EMA. So as long as we remain above it, then yes, I will continue targeting the upside. My next target will be this 100-day EMA, and if that gets cleared, it's the 200-day EMA, what I'm going to be aiming for. So for now, a long story short, yes, it is looking quite positive, but let's not rush into things. Let's see if this can stay above this 1319 level. Cotton, something that I haven't looked at for quite a while, and there we go. Yes, we are, I said to you before that we are in the range, and we had a few attempts to clear this clear the upper side, and we did so. We did clear the upper side of the range, but we failed to kind of stay nicely for at least a few days above this area. And this is the result we're getting. We're getting that decline. We're getting that move lower, and also something that I mentioned, that if we do fall back inside the range and we fall below all of my EMAs here, then yes, I'll aim for the downside. And there we go. We are moving nicely to the downside, and it seems like that we are moving towards the lower side of the range. And then, of course, yes, we will take it from there. For now, I am just, like I said, I'm considering a possible test of the lower side of the range, and then we'll just kind of take it from there. Because maybe we'll rebound. So at the moment, basically something like this that I will consider. Now, in terms of the upside, yes, a break of the upper side of the range here is required, and then we'll go from there, basically. But again, I get it. It's a big weight here, so that's why I'm not examining the upside yet. I'm just waiting for maybe a reversal from here. Could be nice, but again, we'll pick up on that later. Bitcoin. So yes, we had a nice, beautiful push yesterday. We cleared the highest point of October, and we drifted back down. So basically it's no longer Fibonacci. No, not needed. It's mainly now the barrier here. But in general, look, this arrow here worked out. I talked about this, and I said that if we do, reverse from that 23.6, then yes, my next target is the 35,611, and we got a nice, beautiful test of that one. Now I need to see a push above that area in order to go further north. So this arrow can leave now. Can no longer need it. But in terms of the downside, I think I would need to see a break of this territory right here, this upside line, and this upside line is a very tentative one, drawn from the low of the 27th of October. If that gets cleared, then yes, I will go lower. Litecoin. So looking at the picture here as well, we have a beautiful barrier which is still providing good resistance. So nothing else to add here. We need to see a clearance of it in order to go towards my 200-day EMA. For the downside, a drop back below the on this one. On the downside, it's yeah, I need to see a drop back below this downside line and below this 50-day EMA in order to consider a move lower. Maremevelli, hi. On the weekly, BTC turned at Fibo 61. I think it's going to go down. Let me double check the weekly one. So let's 61.8. Depends on from where you're measuring. This is a weekly chart on my side here. So if you're measuring it from here to here, then we reversed from around 38, something like that, 38.2. But if you're measuring it from this side, because again, like I said, it's very subjective. I see what you're talking about. So 61.8, but this is what you're measuring here, right? So I'm assuming from this peak to this this low. Look, it's an interesting one, an interesting idea here, could be correct. Yes, we are testing that 61.8. Let's see if, of course, if this is the one that we need to kind of follow, then certainly a reversal back down towards the 50% retracement, which actually coincides beautifully with my 31,837 territory, is yes, it's looking quite nice. I mean, everything's looking quite, I would say, fantastic if we look at it from this perspective. Now, again, if we look at it from this perspective, then maybe a bit more, 50% to go more, like for another, a further 50% retracement could be nice as well. So that's why you can look at these things, but don't solely rely on this, because again, everything's a little bit subjective, not objective, subjective. So if you draw it this way or if you draw it that way, so somebody sees it this way, if more people see it this way, then they will, oh, you know what, they're thinking, oh, you know what, let's drag it more to 50% and then maybe reverse it back down. So that's why it's a little bit difficult to, I like Fibonacci's and I do look at them very often, of course, but I try to keep it short and simple and short term, to be honest. So at this point, that's why, look, I'm going to go slowly, step by step. And that's why if we do pop above and stay above this 35,611, then basically that's where your 61.8 is. And then we could go further north. And then maybe we could examine that other Fibonacci and aim for that 50% retracement. So, right. But that's why, like I said, if we do start breaking this upside line here, then yes, I will consider a correction back down here, maybe towards that 50% on your Fibonacci, the way you've drawn it. We could go there for a nice retracement, and that actually coincided nicely with my hurdle here, which I have it on the chart as well. So in a way, it kind of still aligns all together, and you might look at this analysis, that analysis. That's what I'm saying. So that's why my webinars are not for me to tell you, or you have to just, listen to me and actually do exactly what I'm saying. No. You have your own ideas, you have your own visions. Like, for example, Mario Mavelli, like you just mentioned, and basically, look, some of those levels do align with some of my ideas, some of my levels as well. So maybe this is what you can pick up and basically apply it to yours, and basically get that extra confirmation or something like that. So that's the whole point. That's the whole point of the webinar. Yes, I hope people understand that, because I'm not here to say, what, from here buy, from here sell. No, that's not the case. I mean, because look, I don't have a crystal ball as well, only, as I keep on saying, only a leather one, right? So it tries to foresee the future, but not as good as the crystal ball. So but that's why I'm trying to apply some sort of other logic and just kind of go from there. So Litecoin, yes, I mentioned that one. AUDUSD, there we go, we get that pop. And we are popping above that 0.6393 territory. That's great, wonderful, and we remained above this territory. So my next target is the 100-day EMA, and then we'll go from there. If we do clear that 100-day EMA, I'll go towards that 0.6522. And then we'll see what it has to offer us next for the downside. Now, if we suddenly fall back below the 0.6393 territory and fall below the 50-day EMA, then yes, a nice possible move lower here could be possible. Yes, possible. So yeah, at the moment, like I said, I'm leaning towards my 100-day EMA test for that one, and then we'll go from there. AUDJPY, beautiful pop. I talked about this idea yesterday that if we do pop and stay above that 95.83 territory, I will go towards my 96.94 territory as well here. So look, in general, I would say kind of mission accomplished. So we kind of reached the goal here. Yes, not exactly the level, but I keep on saying that it's never the level, it's the area around that level. So we completed around maybe like 85, 95, 90%, something like that. So I will take my profits and I'll just enjoy life. Okay, we'll go higher a little bit maybe, then we'll see. Maybe it's going to stall here. Maybe it's going to, start to think what he wants to do next. But at this point, okay, look, if it clears this this barrier, this 96.94, then yes, then my next target will be this highest point of June here near the 97.67, and then we'll go from there. CHF, no, I didn't want CHF. Nothing else to add here. CHFJPY, no, I just forgot to remove it from the list. Not much is happening here, just watching still the same barrier, the 166.60, in order to consider a move higher. USDJPY, now that one's interesting. So yesterday we declined, of course, mainly not because of the yen, no, because as you can see, you already saw that the yen was not on the stronger side. It was the dollar that was on the weaker side. So for now, looking at USDJPY, we fell back below the 150.78 zone. I talked about this and I said that if we do fall and stay below it, well, maybe actually we could be seeing a possibility of a move lower towards that 50-day EMA, which is near the 148.80 zone. And then we'll take it from there. For the upside, I would like to see a push back above the 150.78 zone, and then we'll take it from there. USDCAD, beautiful move back down. So we struggled with that 1.3880 zone. So yes, I need to see that move. I need to see that move back above the 1.3880 in order to go higher. In order to consider a move lower, well, I am already considering that move lower, to be honest, because as long as it remains below the 1.3862, yes, I'm going to consider a move towards that 1.3785 or even this upside support line drawn from the low of the 11th of October. Now, don't get me wrong, this is a little bit on the tentative side, this upside support line, because maybe we should be examining this one. Let me just put this one on the chart. So it's also a tentative upside line, so which could play out. So yeah, long story short, maybe, like I said, maybe this is the case, maybe this is the one to keep an eye on. So let's wait and see. USDCHF, USDCHF is yes, it pushed nicely to that 61.8. Beautiful, got a hold up here. And then I talked about this yesterday. I said if we do climb back above the 61.8, great, I will go higher towards my 78.6. Did we get that breakout? We got the breakout, but we failed to stay above it. So now we drifted back down. And look, I said to you that my downside scenario will be from around here, from around this 38.2% retracement. So because look, we fell below the 50, we tested the 38.2, and this is the area where it's getting a nice good hold up. So I will allow it to move a little bit more here, and then I'll maybe decide what I want to do next. But maybe this 30, if I do want to examine lower levels, maybe this 38.2 actually could come in nicely. GBPNZD falling back down. Look at this. I mean, I talked about this. I said to go in steps. We broke the downside line. Great. I'm aiming for this 2.0966. Tested it. Yes. Did we break it? Kind of ish a little bit, but we failed to stay above it. So I said to you that I need to see, in order to go further north, I need to see a push above that barrier. So I need to mark it now just for that extra kind of confirmation. So if you're looking for some higher levels, yes, a break above this barrier would be needed. Now, what I said to you as well yesterday, that if we do fall back below this downside line, okay, that would be the first step of maybe looking at some lower levels, but probably more of the sellers could join in on a drop below the 2.0736 territory, somewhere around here. And now we could be opening the door towards that 200-day EMA. That's going to be my next target, as long as we remain below this 2.0736 zone. By the way, today, of course, talking about the pound, keep your eyes on the BOE. Today, later on, check out the economic calendar on your side what time it's coming out, but do not miss that opportunity. I mean, we do have the BOE coming out, and as I said to you yesterday, that look, last time the BOE was expected to raise rates, and what we got a hold up. So we got a hold of the rates, and it didn't really they didn't do anything with them, so they didn't rise, and that was a little bit of a I would say maybe a shock or something like that. The market took it as this way, but today the expectation is for the figure to stay the same. Now, it would be a really interesting shock if we actually could see a move, to the upside, like some sort of an increase, because of course, as I said to you before, that the holiday season right now is ongoing, and maybe we could see banks holding off from raising rates, just to kind of, like I said, make to kind of stimulate sales a little bit. But for Britain, that's a little bit of a different story. Why? Because their inflation is 3 times more the BOE's target of 2%. So at least 2%, at least 3 times. So it's like 6.7. So yeah, that's why there is an idea for maybe raising rates. So that's why this idea is still on the table, and That's why it will be very interesting to see if that happens. I mean, if suddenly interest rates go up by 25 basis points, then we could see an explosion here in the pound again across the board, against all of its major counterparts. We could see the pound maybe exploding nicely to the upside. So let's see how this is going to play out, of course. But coming back to the technical picture on the GBPJPY. Yes, a break of this 183.82 level is required in order to go higher. So yes, that's my game plan. That's my game plan here. Maramevelli. Yes, okay, I'll have a look at NZDUSD. It's similar to AUDUSD, but okay. So for now, I mean, long story short, if you're looking for some downside, a break through the lower side of the range is needed. For the upside, a break through the upper side of the range is required. So that's what I'm keeping an eye on. So GBP, let me finish off with this first. GBPUSD, so still in this kind of formation, so getting into this squeeze moment. So look, not much to add here. We're waiting for this one to exit in order to consider the next short-term directional move. Let me just have a look at NZDUSD. Just bear with me one. NZDUSD, yes. So I'll bring it back here. So, NZDUSD very quickly. So, okay, look, we popped again, similar, like I said, similar as AUDUSD, also popped above my barrier, and NZD also popped above my barrier. And as I said to you previously, when not to you, Maramevelli, previously, but in general in the webinar when I was covering NZDUSD last time, I said that if we do pop and stay above this 0.5860 territory, as long as we remain above it, I'll consider a larger correction to the upside, because don't forget we do have this downside line, this medium-term downside resistance line drawn from the high of the 14th of July. Now I get it's a little bit on the tentative side, but still could play out nicely because it coincides with my 100-day EMA, so it could be seen as a good hold up somewhere around here. But for now, I'm leaning towards the upside as long as we remain above the 0.5860. If we fall below it, then yes, I will go lower. I will go to the downside here, and then I'll keep an eye on this upside line drawn from the low of the 26th of October initially. I mean, my arrow is crossing this one, but I just don't want to. Well, okay, let me squeeze the arrow here. That's what I'm going to be considering. EURCAD, so beautiful flirting with this downside line. Drawn from the high of the 4th of May. Yesterday we pushed away from it. We moved below my 1.4617 territory, and then we climbed back up. So it's not giving up. So the bulls are not giving up. So to be honest, this is kind of just making everything look a little bit more positive. But yes, I still need to see that breakout. And this time, as I said to you yesterday in my morning video, that push above the 1.4695 territory would be needed as well. This is from where I will start looking at some higher levels. And finally, EURUSD. So yes, this one did move nicely back up here. As you can see, look how well this played out again. Look how well this 1.0523. Maramevelli, you're welcome. I hope that helps. So yeah. Look how well this played out. This hurdle, this area here, I need to mark it, honestly. This is just amazing. I said to you before that if we do drop below this 1.0560, my next target is this one right here. And it proved to be a correct area to watch. So now, again, if we do fall back below this 1.0560, again, I'll target this 1.0523, and then if that gets cleared, yes, further declines are possible. But at the moment, look, what I said to you yesterday as well, that if we do push back above the 1.06 zone, I will start leaning towards the upside, initially aiming for that the 50-day EMA and this 1.0625 territory. If that gets cleared, guess what? This opens the door potentially towards the 100-day EMA, and then we will kind of go from there. So at the moment, if you're not really liking what you're seeing here, I get it. I totally understand you, because I don't like it myself. So I'm just trying to squeeze something out of this one. But in general, at the moment, it's a little bit tricky. So that's why maybe I'm trying to find some sort of logic in this one, so that's why I am leaning a little bit more towards the upside as long as we stay above the 1.06 zone. If we start falling back down, I'll take a little bit of a neutral stand, but if it starts falling below the 1.0560, then yes, I will consider a move lower back down towards this 1.0523, which is a fantastic area of support, and then maybe a lower if we clear that one. So guys, that's it for this session, guys. Like I said, join me tomorrow morning. Tomorrow we have the NFPs coming out, so I'll do a session on that one. But yeah, I hope you found this useful. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for tuning in and watching this until the end. If you're watching this as a recorded session, I really appreciate that as well. Thank you for your time. As always, I say the same thing, guys. Stay safe, have your stop losses in place, risk only what you can afford to lose, and don't overtrade, and everything will be fine. Everything will be fine. So yes, thank you very much, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Hey there, thank you very much for watching this one till the end. I really appreciate that. So, like this video, we speculate your next mouse movement will be towards the subscribe button.